Hello, my name is Joshua Deloney. I currently work as a test engineer for a software company, and I am pursuing an engineering degree. For this assignment, I chose to look at the National Society of Professional Engineers Code Ethics for Engineers because it relates to my job. Engineers design things people rely on every day, like bridges, buildings, machines, and software. If an engineer cuts corners or makes mistakes, it's not just a financial loss, but it could harm the consumer or the public. That's why the profession holds engineers to such a strict code of ethics. Top principles I think that are the most important and what they mean. Engineers shall hold paramount the safety, health, and welfare of the public. To me, this means an engineer's top priority is protecting the public from any harm that could come the design from what they design or build. Number two, engineers shall perform services only in the areas of their competence. This means engineers should only take on projects that match their skills and experience. The third, engineers shall issue public statements only objectively and truthfully. This also means an engineer needs to be truthful when sharing information with the public. Um, why they exist. The first rule, the principle of keeping public safety as top priority. An engineer's main concern is helping protect the public from any harm caused by their designs. The real reason is that the public puts all their trust in engineers, even though they have no way to check their work themselves. Nobody's going to double check the plans of a bridge before they drive over it. This rule exists to protect that trust and people's lives. The moral value behind it is the safety and lives of the community, and the professional reason behind it is that if safety wasn't the engineer's top priority, the public would lose trust in the engineers, and the profession itself would lose credibility. The ethical level, the textbook lists four levels of the codes of ethics: basic, currently attainable, practical, and theoretical. I think the NSPE code of ethics fits mostly at the practical level. The textbook says that the practical level codes represent behavior you can reach if you put in real effort, and it usually involves extra responsibility professionals have toward the people they serve. Putting the public safety first is a high bar, but it's not difficult. Engineers can live up to if they're careful and thorough in their work. It's also a rule that can be enforced since the NSPE can discipline members who break it. Serious ethical problem. An ethical problem I face as an engineer is feeling the pressure to sign off on software as tested and passed because the release deadline when I know there are some because of the real because of the release deadline when I know there are some areas that weren't tested as much as others. I've had my own experiences with pressure from my management as a test engineer. There have been times my boss would ask me to finish testing our product as soon as possible to meet a deadline, which puts me in a position to either push the product through with known issues or request more time and risk the deadline being missed. One real world example is the Challenger space shuttle disaster that happened in 1986. Engineers knew a part of the space shuttle that could fail in cold weather and warned their superiors, but their management overruled them and launched the spacecraft anyway, and 7 people died. This kind of pressure can put an engineer in a difficult position. They have they may have to refuse the design or push back against their own boss. This is exactly the kind of situation the code's safety principle is meant to prevent. Safety should come first. What I learned working through the NSPE code taught me that engineering isn't just about learning the technical side, it's about trust as well. People are putting their safety in the engineer's hands, and it made me see the profession differently. An engineer needs to be skilled, and their honesty is something that can be held accountable for. And just following orders from a boss is never a good enough excuse if something goes wrong. That's a bigger responsibility than I expected going into this field, and it's something I want to take seriously in my career. Thanks.